everybody, I'm Vasel, and today we're going to take a look at 6 different games, and I'm going to tell you what I think of them. Small games, weird games, unusual games, some good, some bad. Let's get started. Grachtenpand is a little game here, a charming drafting game where players create an Amsterdam canal street. So that's what this game is. You're going to build little cards down and build a street out, trying to score points. Let's take a look. In this game, there are 3 types of cards: the base, middle, and the roofs of houses. Everyone's going to start with a base, and then you'll draw 1 card of each type into your hand. Each round, you take a card off of any pile you want. You pick one of the cards in your hand. So maybe I say this one here, and then I place it into a building. Or I could have, maybe started another one. Or you can even put a roof on a building if you want to. And then you take the cards that you didn't play and pass them to the person on your left. And you'll keep going. And you can play and put all kinds of things in your buildings. But when someone has finished 4 buildings, and this is only 2, but when someone's finished 4 buildings, then the game ends. Now, all your buildings are next to each other, like this, and you're going to look for the biggest group of coloring, and whoever has that's going to get 4 points. But also, you're going to score the base and roof for each house. So this one, for example, says this gives me 3 points. If this building is the tallest building, it's not. In between the two, this one's taller than that. So that doesn't score me those 3 points. This one scores me 2 points if I have 2 or more cats. Well, indeed I do. The roof scores me 2 points if it's shorter than the building to its right. Well, that did not happen. This one scores me 3 points if the building's exactly 4 tall, which also did not happen. Happily, I got a point here for flowers. Every flower is worth a point. So I ended with 3 points for these 2 buildings. Whoever has the most points is the winner. This game is pretty. It's nice. It's simple. You're putting these cards out, and there's some interesting concepts here. The drafting is a little odd in the sense of you have these cards. You draw cards, and you go, this is the one I pick, and then you pass it. If the hand you have already contains a card that you want, then you do weird things like, I'll draw a card that person needs a roof. Well, I'm not drawing a roof. I'll draw another bottom for them. It's a little odd. I don't know how to fix that. It's just a little weird. There's a lot of these games out here where you score points for things. This one has very specific things. You need to get cats. You need to have this building taller than the ones next to. It's fine. It's inoffensive. It's nice. I'd give this one close. It's almost a 7, but it's a 6.5. It's a nice little game, but just kind of misses the mark a bit for me. Koinobori is a game about a koi pond. There are so many games about koi ponds. But wait, it's not about koi ponds. That's what I thought it was when I first looked at it. But actually, this is about flying kites in the sky that look like koi fish. I looked this up, and it's a real thing, and it's pretty neat. And also, the artwork in this game is phenomenally cool, so please be good. Each player is going to have their own personal flagpole put in front of them. And over the course of the game, they're going to be able to place fish face down on this flagpole. And what's going to happen is, as you do that, it's going to change your actions. So this is how many cards you draw, how many cards you play, and your hand size. Gameplay is pretty simple. Players are going to start with a handful of cards, and on their turn, they are going to draw, according to the number they can draw, and there's a face-up line of cards you can draw from. Then you can play 1 or 2 cards, depending on where you are. You can play cards face down in your own pole, or you can add them to a pole here. And you can see each of these. There's some starting fish poles that we put out, 1 more than a number of players. Some of them have special abilities on them, like this one, for example, lets me draw 2 cards. Usually, if they have fewer fish, this one lets you move something. However, once a pole has 5 cards on it, besides the starting pole, then that one is locked. At the end of the game, that's going to score. Now, this is going to score for the orange fish. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the orange fish. If there's ever a tie between scoring, let's say there had been 4 blacks and 4 oranges, and neither of them would score, and you go to the next one, which in this case would be pink or green, and that's a tie, so then it would go to this one. If they're all tied, then you go by whatever fish is shown on the bottom. Then how do you score? Well, you're going to look at your own personal flag post. So let's say orange scores here. So orange is a value of 4, and I have 1 orange fish in my own personal score post, so 1 times 4 is 4. You also will have a bunch of scoring cards here, and we turn the orange one over to show that that one has scored. They're all going to start with -3. You'll turn them over. And this matters because at the end of the game, each fish that you have in your flag post here that hasn't scored, you'll lose 3 points for. You'll add together all your points, and whoever has the most is the winner. Happily, I enjoy this game. I will say, when I read the rules, I thought, it's not a very long game. Because if you number of players, if there's 4 players, you're going to have 5 groups of flags. Each one has 25 cards divided by 4 players. Is around 6 cards per player, plus 4 for your own, so 10 turns. But that's not bad. That's all it is. It's an interesting game because they want you to put the cards, or you want to put cards on your own personal flagpole because you want to get your special abilities up. But by putting fish down there, you're kind of locking yourself in. You put them face down. Your opponents don't know what you put there. But if I put bluefish down, then bluefish better win in 1 or more places. And so everyone is like, and also it's kind of obvious. I put 2 bluefish here. Someone's like, so you want the bluefish to win. But if you build the flags up first and then put stuff down, then you have a better chance of knowing what's here, but also you're only drawing 1 card per turn. You're only playing 1 card. Your hand limit's smaller. So that's a nice juxtaposition there. The end game story is interesting. If there's a tie, then the next one gets it. So that's kind of funny and unusual. The game isn't too long. My only thing I don't love are the special abilities can be pretty useful, and only if you draw them. And yes, they're only 1 fish, which means that's not as useful to put on your own, but I want to play those out publicly anyway. Cool theme. The theme works. It's a nice, fun, light game. I enjoy this one. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Giraffe Raffe. This is a game from Mandu Games, from Hisashi Hayashi, where the goal of the game is to get rid of every card in your hand as slowly as possible. It's very different than most games. Here's how it plays. In this game, players are trying to basically get rid of all the cards in your hand. If you're playing with 4 players, you have 15 cards in your hand. You're going to put out a certain number of these depending on the number of players. This is what you'd play with 4 or 5 players. And then you start taking turns. On your turn, if you have an apple, you can get rid of the apple, and that's your whole turn. Or you can play cards to 1 or more locations. If you cannot do so, then you are out, and you lose, and everyone else wins. I could play, for example, a 1 single card here on the 15. That means the next person has to play a higher one, which means if the next person's a jerk and plays a 15, no one's going to be able to play at that location again. Here I have to play a flush, at least 3 cards of the same color. And if someone else wants to play there after I've done that, they have to play 4 cards of the same color. Here, a straight, 4 of a kind, 3 of a kind, a pair, any cards there, but the next person has to play at least 1 more card. So here they have to be higher. If I play 2 3s, you have to play 2 4s or more. And if you can't do that, you're in trouble. Whenever you do these, some of them reward you apples. Some of them give you more cards from the deck. And at some point, you're not going to be able to play, in which case you lose, everyone else wins. You can play a longer game where you just take tokens, and the first person to get 2 tokens loses and everyone else wins. This is a weird, unique game. I kind of like it, but I don't love it. Because it's just, you have to really wrap your mind around things. Like you're trying to get rid of cards from your hand. You need to play something in your turn. So you want to play as few cards as you can. But the game incentivizes you to play maybe a straight if you can right away. That gives me 2 apples. That gives me 2 free turns. The problem is with all this, I'm like, ooh, should I play cards here? Should I play cards here? Oh, I want to get rid of my, 13 orange before someone plays a 14 orange there. And you can also card count. Someone played 3 15s there, so the 15s will likely not be played in these spots. But at the end of the day, you have no idea what everyone else has in their hands. You have no idea what people are going to play where. And the game often comes down to a couple rounds of apple, 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 apple. You got nothing, you're out. And you lose. And it's also weird because it has 1 loser and everyone else wins. I don't mind this as a side thing. This is a 6.5 for me because it's almost there. I like it, but it's not a game I would ever want to own. It's a game that I'll play as an amusing little side note, but I don't know if I want more than that. It's weird, and I don't hate the Giraffe Raffe artwork from Bingo Kim. It's kind of fun, and it's a fun idea. It's just that the game feels pretty random, sort of. So, I don't know. This is definitely going to be a very unique style game. You'll have to check it out for yourself. Giraffe Raffe. Class of Magic Schools. Oh, there's 2 houses. They each have their own sigil. It's from Uwe Rosenberg and Hagen Dorgathen. And you might be like, ooh, Uwe Rosenberg. Yes, this is the magic school thing. It's definitely not Harry Potter. This is a 2-player game, but this is not a new game. This is a reprint of an old game called Babel, which was in the old Cosmos 2-player line. Now, Yellow's redone it with Magical School. Back and forth. It's a vicious, in-your-face style game. Let's take a look at it. In this game, you are trying to complete trials. Trials are from 1 to 5, and if the top level of your trials on your side of the board is ever 15 or higher, you win. Or if they're all run out, then you see who has the most. Players are going to be playing student cards. And on your turn, the first thing you'll do is you'll draw 3 cards from the deck and add it to your hand. You can then move your emblem. Your emblem starts here. I can play that yellow and move them to this spot. You can play students at a spot. You can play basically as many as you want. And you can also complete a trial on either side, not your own, what you start with. So here I have 3 students. I can build a level 1 there. At the end of every round, more trials are going to come out. And later on, I would be able to build a number 2 here. Now, my token has to be at this spot to be able to do it. And a 2 is built on top of a 1. A 3 is built on top of a 2, etc. Now, the reason these students are colored is because if you ever have 3 together of the same color in a spot, you can spend the middle one to cast a spell. And these spells do all sorts of things. Red one kills all your opponent's trial cards here and puts them on top of the deck. Yellow lets you move people. You can steal someone. Green, discard everyone of a color. Blue, you can skip a trial. And purple, you can steal your opponent's top trial to your side. There's also a curse. And you can do, instead of using what the normally is, you can make your opponent discard half the cards in their hand, rounded down. So you're going to go back and forth fighting on this. And every round, 2 more cards come out here. And you can build the top of yours or the top of your opponent's. So you're paying to move this round, play cards, and get those built while casting spells furiously. As I said, if you have 15 or more, so right now my score is 2. But if there was a 4 here and I would have 6, you get 15 or more, you win. Or when this runs out, then you go to sudden death to see who wins. For me, Clash of Magic School has 2 things going against it. One is Babel I've waxed hot and cold on. I remember when the first time I played Babel, I was going back and forth. I was like, oh man, and it just feels like your opponent slaps you in the face the whole game. I'll steal this. I'll blow these buildings you were building up. Like, fine, I'm going to do a lot to you, but let me build up my hand first. And they're like, nah, lose half the cards in your hand. I walked out of it wanting to give it a 4. As time went by, it crept up and up. I was like, ooh, I'm getting into the flow of this. But that was 20 years ago. I really cooled on this game. It's just too mean and kind of random by the cards that you get. Then you combine that with an absolutely inane theme that they added. Babel was about building these little ziggurats out there. It made sense. Passing tests 1 through 5 does not make sense. This game is a pain to teach. The artwork is hilarious in this game because each of the different schools shows the same person with slight characteristic changes. My daughters who are artists really laughed at that. They didn't think it was as bad as I did. I was just like, are you kidding me? Every picture is the same person with slightly different hair or a scar here or something like that. I hate this theme. It's just not interesting to me. And to combine it with Babel, a game I've waxed cold on anyway, makes this just, I thought it was just a very, very bad experience. Some people are going to like this as back and forth too vicious, but go hunt out the old Babel. This new, it's bright and colorful, but that doesn't mean it's better. This is a 4 out of 10. I just didn't like this one at all. Kimbap. This is a game about making kimbap. If you don't know what kimbap is, it's a Korean dish which looks remarkably like sushi, but isn't like sushi because there's no fish in it at all. It contains a bunch of other ingredients, often pickled radish and carrots and all sorts of vegetables and sometimes some meat. But it is a very delicious dish. It's different than sushi. It is a meal dish in the sense of sushi, you go, you eat some sushi. Kimbap is like lunch. You just get in, you're like, it's delicious. I don't know else how to explain it. I love it. So this is a basically a dexterity game where you're making kimbap. Here's how it plays. The game is very simple. You have your outside kimbap, your rice, your lettuce, your cheese, and then the radish and the different things you're going to put on the inside of it here. And one player is going to roll dice. You can decide how many dice you want to roll. When you roll these dice, the more you roll, the harder it is. If it shows this means that cannot touch the rice. On the flip side, this one means it must touch that. So let's just show 2 dice here. This means rice can't touch cheese, and lettuce must touch this. So I would do it like rice can't touch cheese. Now that's tricky. So I'll do that, and that. And then this gets rolled on the inside of here. These get rolled on this. And then you're going to roll the whole thing up. And because it is because it's a Velcro, you have made your kimbap. And it doesn't work nearly as well as it should, unfortunately. And then you look to see if you followed the rules. So is the pink touching the lettuce? No. It must have rolled out somehow. Is the cheese touching the rice? No, it is not. Well, you're grabbing a point chip from the middle of the table. The first person grabs the highest point chip, etc. And that's the game, a speed game of putting those together. Well, there's not much more to it than that. As much as I love kimbap, and I like the dexterity element here, I don't think it works well enough. It's okay, and I rolled mine poorly in the example there. You're supposed to like roll everything up and then kind of wrap the outside around it. But this is from Roberto Fraga, and he makes a ton of these type games. This one is interesting for maybe 10 minutes. And then you go, why did I buy this? Because we like kimbap. So that I can't really recommend it for that. It's fine. I give it a 6 out of 10. It's not bad. It's an okay game. Kids will like it. I just can't see me recommending people to buy it because it's just not quite there. Ship Show. This is a cooperative shipping game in which you will be splitting into 2 teams, stockers and shippers, to figure out where packages go. The game is actually more about associations. It's hard to explain it. I'm going to try anyway. In this game, you have several sets of items. Each one is numbered. So, for example, you'll see this set here is number 27, which has a matching number of items that are right here. Each of the different items are various things. You can see a flamingo, a glass, an energy bolt, etc. At the beginning of the game, you're going to take 2 groups and mix them together, and then you're going to separate these into groups. How you group them is up to you. I might put these 3 together because they're food. I might put a foot next to a snail because it's disgusting. Or mittens I might put next to a foot, and this and this. I might put these all together because they're parts of the body / clothing. And you can split stuff up any way you want. That's kind of set up. Everyone's going to be split into 2 teams, the shippers and the stockers. After everything's sorted, you'll pick a new group, and secretly, the stockers side of the game are going to take each one of these, and they're going to put them face down in different areas, trying to put stuff that's next to other traits. Maybe they'll put one here. And then you will have a set of cards that matches those. So here, for example, is the set of cards that are 27. And these cards are given to the other team. Well, not the other team, but the other half of the players, the shippers. The shippers then are going to be going through all these cards and then be like, ooh, a flamingo. That's an animal, right? Oh, but it could be a house. Then there's going to be these tiles all over the place. And there might even be like a tile by itself or whatever. And I'll go, ooh, we did think this is the flamingo. You turn it over, bam, you get a point. But you get a couple wrong orders, then you've busted. Now, I would like to tell you that's the simplicity of the game. But this is a 9-page rule book for what I just said. It's not that complicated, but there are things that change from quote-unquote week to week. There's a monthly equipment request form. The rules for this game are really kind of ridiculous on how all the different things here work together. I just want to give you the basic idea. Good grief on this game. First of all, they called it Ship Show just to catch your attention, right? And you're like, what is this game about? But this is a party game. Now, there are a lot of these party games where you go, does this go with this? This is a very big thing today, this vagueness. Like, you put this tile next to that tile, and that tile is a skeleton. And so and this one's meat. Would meat go next to skeleton, or would meat go next to food? This piece of cheese over here, but you put that piece of cheese next to the door. And so everyone's talking out loud, trying to figure these things out. The team that did it, and by the way, there's a big shield that you can hide everything behind. They're trying to do it. But this game exists already. There are several games that do this same sort of thing. Mysterium and other games have this kind of vague clues that people give. But this one says, hey, what if we added 9 big pages of rules and complexity? And also, it's a pain in the neck to take those tiles in and out of the little slots, and there's all these different sets. Do I need all these sets? Why can't I just have a huge pile of tiles? We pull 9 out or something like that. And I get that you need them in sets because then the tiles match the sets of cards, but that organization feels like a pain in the neck. I already don't like these vague games to begin with, so keep that in mind. This isn't my style of game, but if I play one, I want one where the setup and teardown is easier, and one where the rules aren't as complex. Come on, who is this for? It feels like it's like, this game's called Ship Show. Do you know what I almost said? That's dumb in and of itself. And then the art in the cover here, it's like it's a corporate game. No, it's a cooperative game. There's glimmers of some interesting things there when I played it, like, oh, we put these together, but more than likely it just ends in yelling about how these two don't go together. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Whispered while the other team sits there bored waiting for their turn to go. And I keep saying team, and you're all on the same team. I just don't think this one's worth anyone's time. So, like I said, the glimmers of hope make me give it, I would give it a 5, but the dumb name brings it down a point, so I'm giving this one a 4. And there you go, folks. Well, I guess the winner of today was the Koi game, a nice little game here to get. This one's not so bad, and the draft one's not so bad. But a few of these I don't like, but hey, I'm just one person. You might like some of these. Tell me what you think in the comments, if you think differently than me or you think the same. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel, and this is 6 short reviews on the Dice Tower. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.